Hi, Erin Koss here, CEO at Syte Consulting Group. Recently, I wrote an article on business transformation, and I wrote this article because it seemed like digital transformation and the ideas behind it were showing up everywhere, and I just felt like they were missing the whole picture. So digital transformation, right? This idea that we want to automate, we want to use technology to our advantage, just seems to come up short for our clients who are family-owned manufacturing companies looking at the long term and looking at making more holistic long-term changes when they invest their time and money. And so business transformation is something that at Syte Consulting Group we take really seriously. We think about it like a road trip, if you will, right? It's a crawl, walk, run kind of strategy, and it kind of reminds me of a road trip. So this idea where you might start out kind of on a bumpy road, not knowing where you're going to go or how you're going to get there, and as you get a good map in front of you and the right people in the right seats next to you, you can get where you're trying to go in stages, and eventually you go from being on a gravel road, a bumpy road, to being maybe on a 4-lane highway where it's nice smooth pavement and the signs just have so much clarity. So when we talk about business transformation, this is what we think of. And for us, it tends to be 4 pieces that get our clients where they're trying to go. The first of those is measuring where you're at, or doing a self-evaluation of where are we at, how ready are we to take on a big change initiative. And then next, it's doing a business assessment. Where are the processes at in the business? How evolved are they? Where are the issues with them? And what about the people that are responsible for executing those processes? So we do a business assessment of both the process and the people that are really critical to driving those processes. Next, it's an idea of what solutions are going to be the best fit and evaluating those solutions within your organization. Solutions being, some of that is technology, some of that is ERP solutions, some of that might be a best of breed solution. It might also be a training solution. It could be a lot of different things. But again, what are the requirements for our client's business, and what are the solutions that need to be built around those requirements? Lastly is implementation. So you've decided, you figured out, measured where the gaps and issues are, where you're at today. You've assessed the business for the critical processes and the people. And then you've evaluated the solutions and what you need to succeed. And now it's about implementing those solutions for success. Foundational to that is the work that we've done for many, many years is implementing ERP solutions, of course, which are foundational, but they're just the start, really. There's so many other pieces that are involved, including people, process, and technology. And so the thing I want to kind of highlight today is maybe the first of a series of conversations we're going to have via these connection videos and also some additional articles, which are going to focus on, why do these different steps in the journey matter? So you're on a road trip. Why does taking that first step of measurement and evaluation, why is that so important, and how does it add value? Well, the thing that we've seen in the rearview mirror, so to speak, is when companies take on, say, evaluating solutions before they consider where they're at and how ready they are to do so, or worse yet, implement solutions before they have any consideration of those things as well, they can get out over their skis both in time, cost, and just plain burnout and impact on their people in a way they never intend. And so one of the things a business evaluation or measuring your readiness, as we call it, so we call it a transformation readiness evaluation, and it's really an evaluation meant to measure how capable or where are your capabilities and capacities relative to taking on some really important business transformation initiatives. What we find is there's many areas of gap that can come up, but the most critical areas are really relative to people's capabilities and capacities. A lot of times these projects that are so foundational to transforming a business, ERP being one example, what we find is companies don't take on these projects very often, if ever, and so their people are just plain don't have the capabilities to do what's asked. They aren't project managers, they aren't business analysts or technical analysts, and so they often just flat out don't have the capabilities. The other piece is that they have the subject matter experts in the organization that are required for these projects. They have great people, but these people are doing a day job, and they can't imagine pulling those folks out of their day job and asking them to participate on a really, critical project for 50% of their time. Yes, in fact, most special projects that we're talking about that will transform your business are going to pull and require anywhere from 25 to 75%. We like to say around 50% of your subject matter expert's time. So when you go to build a core team of people to execute important initiatives like this, and they have their day job, and so you need to think about how can you do that? How are you going to plan for taking these folks out of the organization part-time when they're so busy as it is? And so one of the things we find is people, our clients, really underestimate the effort, the length of time it's going to take to and the necessary effort that's going to be required of these folks. And so what happens is, and we've seen this time and again, is these projects will take twice as long as they need to, cost twice as much as they need to, and worse yet, burn out your people in ways that you never expected. And so what we recommend is take 30 days. The evaluation and assessment upfront of your own readiness or readiness for business transformation honestly can be done in less than 30 days. And for us, it's a matter of probably 10 hours or less in terms of consulting time on our part to help support the effort. So we ask our clients, we have this kind of neat tool that we provide to help our clients measure exactly where they're at from a readiness perspective. And we walk through that in a short amount of time with you and get an assessment of where the gaps and issues are specifically. Again, usually related to capabilities and capacity, but we get real specific about where those are, and then can help you troubleshoot, make recommendations for how do you solve this issue. Is it bringing temporary resources in or experts in from the outside to do certain role-specific tasks that maybe you don't need if you're not running a project, things like a project manager, business analyst, or technical analyst, roles that maybe you don't need long-term, and roles that also could really help level up the people in your organization that are going to be there long-term to support these systems and solutions that you put in place. So oftentimes that's a solve. There's also temporary backfilling of some of those resources, or just in general temporary help in an administrative way that can support as well. But there's lots of ways to skin that capability and capacity gaps that show up so often. And we like to see our clients spend the 30 days, if you will, to just do that evaluation and get good feedback and get to the place where they can make good decisions about how they're going to provide for these projects and be really prepared before diving into the second step in the process, which is business assessment. So the next time we get together and we talk for a few minutes, we're going to continue the conversation about business transformation, focused on business assessment, what it's about, how long it takes, who might need to be involved, and why it's important, and what happens, maybe what the impacts are when you don't do it, and the benefits are when you do. So I hope you'll join us as we take on a series of conversations about business transformation, the journey, if you will, on the road from the bumpy gravel road to the smooth, open highway that we find when we go through this process in a methodical and flexible way. But I hope you'll join us as we go down this journey together. Talked about readiness evaluation today. We'll talk about business assessment next. We'll follow that with evaluation, and then finally implementation. By the time we're done, I think you'll have a fairly good picture of the 4 steps needed to really execute a business transformation initiative within your organization. And as we go along the way, if you have questions, comments, concerns, feedback even, we'd love to hear from you. And if it would serve you to have a conversation more broadly or one-on-one, feel free to reach out anytime. We'll look forward to chatting with you some more. Take care.